All right, we do want to talk to our next guest now. Brad Guy was just 22 when he booked a thrill-seeking skydive in Victoria's Yarra Valley. With his family cheering him on, he jumped out of the plane and his dream quickly turned into a nightmare.
It is extraordinary. At 15,000 feet, his instructor's parachute failed to open. It sent them hurtling to the ground at 80 kilometres an hour. Miraculously, they both survived, and now Brad has relived this tale in his new book, Free Fall. He joins us in the studio. Just hearing that just gives me chills. What's it like, what has it been like recounting that situation?
I know, what a pivot from pickup lines
I know.
to trauma. It's been a lot. I started writing the book because I felt like I had a story to tell, and through publishing I realised that there's so much healing left to do, and days like that just don't ever leave you. They don't leave your mind, they don't leave your body. So it's still hard, but I feel like now I'm less of a victim and more a survivor, and I'm ready to share my story with the world.
So, I mean, if you can, talk us through what that was like and what goes through your mind at the moment you realise, hey, like, we don't have the parachute here.
I definitely had convinced myself that I was dead. I just knew for sure in that moment that my life was over. Even though it was a short time, it felt like the longest time. And all I remember is the senses of everything, just the screaming and the wind, all the whistling, and my instructor just strangling with the harnesses and yelling at me to keep my feet down. It was just pure mayhem in that moment. But even then, as it was happening, I knew that we were going to hit the ground and it wasn't looking good. So I accepted death even in that moment. And the overwhelming feeling was guilt. My whole family was there, my mum, my dad, my 3 sisters, their husbands, nieces and nephews, my boyfriend. So even as I was falling, I felt guilt because I put something on them and they were witnessing my death. So even though it was a split second, so many overwhelming feelings even in that moment.
It's remarkable, isn't it? What happened post the accident? More so about your recovery, your injuries, how you are today?
Yes, well, I'm alive.
Great.
Spoiler alert, to spoil the end of the book. But I broke my upper spine and fractured my lower spine, tore all the ligaments in my neck, and was diagnosed with depression, PTSD, and night terrors. So just a whole cavalcade of issues to deal with. And the first 4 months after hospital were just bleak. I was rotting in my bedroom, couldn't sleep, hectic painkillers, had to learn how to walk again, how to drive again. I was in a neck brace and back brace for 4 months, so I was basically immobilised. My family had to look after me. So it wasn't just this crazy experience and you recover. It was the mental anguish of having to comprehend what I went through because it didn't make sense to me. And it was the reactions of other people when they were saying like, oh my God, that happened to you. Like, are you okay? Or you nearly died. That's when it kind of started to weigh on me that I went through something pretty extreme. And even though that initial 4-month period was the hardest in terms of recovery, I don't think the recovery's really ended at all.
No, I can't imagine it's something that you just get over and get back to regular life.
No.
But you have written this book. You know, often people do these things, they say, to help other people who might be going through something similar. Obviously, not too many people are falling out of the sky, but there would be people who would relate to the sort of feelings you're experiencing.
Yeah, totally. Trauma is something that changes you physiologically. There's a rewiring. So it might not be skydiving, but it could be any other sort of event. The event will be different person to person, but how you react is usually the same. And I wanted to share my story because now I feel like 10 years later, I'm thriving. I've done so much with my life. I'm on the Today Show. And those techniques I put into place actually helped me continue to survive. So the book is part memoir, also parts handbook. There's little diagrams you can fill out and there's illustrations. The idea is that you would highlight things and bookmark it, give it to someone. I want this to be a handbook for people that have gone through trauma and show them that there is another side and a beautiful life to live. I
do say you are emanating a beautiful calmness coming from you. You have a lovely, it sounds weird telling someone they have a lovely energy, but it definitely, you know, I feel your calmness.
Oh, thank you. I was more nervous leading up, and now that I'm on the couch, it feels kind of correct.
You have a very soothing voice to listen to as well, Brad.
There you stay.
And Brad's book, Free Fall, is available now in all good bookstores.
Extraordinary story, isn't it?
Hey there, Today fans. Sarah and What's my name again?
Oh my God. Carl?
Hey, thanks for watching our YouTube channel, though. Subscribe now for more news, special reports, and amazing Aussie stories.
And Carl misbehaving,
Whoa,
of course.
that never happens.
Always happens.
What's she talking about?
Always happens.